Welcome to me explaining the entire plot of Genshin Impact very badly while you watch me draw Hu Tao in the background. There will be huge spoilers in this for literally every single story in this game, so if you don't want those, leave. The Mondstadt Archon quest. So you're traveling between worlds and some unknown god says no, and then they take your sibling and put them into a cube, and then you get turned into cubes too. You've been in Tevat for a while and fished up a guy named Paimon who suggests you go to Mondstadt to try to find its Archon. You go to a statue of the Seven, touch it, and get animo powers. That's kind of fancy because you don't have a vision. Then you see a big dragon in the sky, so you chase after it. Some stranger is trying to calm it down, but the dragon feels your presence and you scare it away. The dragon leaves a red teardrop crystal thing and you take it because wow, treasure. Then you leave the forest. Amber greets you, and after you go defeat a hilly trail camp, she's like, wow, I'll show you around Mondstadt. Here's a wind glider too. She tells you about the Storm Terror situation, and then a big wind happens and you have to shoot Storm Terror, and a mysterious voice is like, I'll help. So you drive him away for now, and you go and meet with Jean and Lisa from the Knights of Favonius. They tell you that you have to go with Kaya, Amber, and Lisa to each of the Four Winds temples and clear them, or something to restore balance. You go back to the Knights, and you see Jean talking to a masked person, and they're like, just kill the dragon, but Jean is like, no, that's one of the Four Winds. Then Jean sees us, and is like, that's a Fatui diplomat. They're trying to use the Storm Terror situation as diplomatic leverage to gain control over Mondstadt. You show Jean and Lisa the gem, but oh no, it hurts vision users, so you put that thing back in your pocket somehow. I don't know how it fit there. So now you're the honorary knight too, that's cool. You're in Mondstadt and you see the stranger from earlier, so you chase them, and they know about the gem, but you take it out and now it's blue. The stranger whose name is Venti also has one and lets you purify it after you meet him over at a tree. But this is a special tree. Venti is like, well, we can stop him from being sad with the Holy Lyre de Himmel, so let's go get that. You go into the cathedral and just try to ask for it, but obviously they say no, so then Venti is like, I'm the Animo Archon Barbados, and they still say no. So we do a sneak mission, and then right as we're about to grab it, some Fatui person comes and steals it, and then we have to flee the crime scene. You go to Angel's Share and hide, and Diluc is there. He lets you hide from the knights, but then questions you, so Venti plays a song to explain everything to him. Diluc contacts Jean to help, and Venti plays the song to explain everything again. You go to a Fatui stronghold and get the lyre. They mention Signora, I don't know, maybe that'll become important later, who knows. You power up the lyre with the tears, but then it doesn't work because an abyss mage is like, shut the hell up, Barbados. Then the lyre breaks. Diluc talks about the abyss order, spooky. There was some magic thing that the abyss order did that severed Venti's connection with Dvalin or something. So now you can open Storm Terror's lair. So you go and fix some ruined things to get into the lair, and then you have to shoot Dvalin again. So you shoot him enough until you get to these platforms in the sky, and then you break the corrupted windstone thing on his neck. Yeah, you saved everyone. You go and see a bunch of hilly trails attack the city, and you go back to the cathedral to give back the lyre, but it's broken, but Venti fixes it, but not really. So you leave the cathedral, and you're expecting things to be normal, but you were wrong. You get hit by some cold and you get restrained by two Fatui guards, and it's Signora. I didn't think that would become important later. So basically she steals the Gnosis, which is the thing that makes him an Archon, not the thing that makes him a god, get it right, and kind of kicks Venti around a bit and then leaves. So you talk to Venti and he talks about stuff, and then he tells you to go to Liyue, so you do. Liyue Archon Quest. This one I know the most about because it's the best one, and I think Liyue is the better in every way. Basically, you go to Liyue because you're still trying to meet all of the seven, and you hear that the Rite of Dissension is that day, and it's the one day a year that people can meet Rex Lapis, and he makes new rules and policies and stuff. You go to the place where it happens, and Ningguang does the ceremony, and then everything is going good until Rex Lapis falls out of the sky. Oh no, he's dead! And then they start arresting people who got too close, and I don't really know why we run, because, like, what were they gonna do if we got arrested? Nothing, really, but we run away anyways. Then we almost make it out, and oh no, we got caught, but then Hey Girlie, hold still, and Child saves us. We go back to Northland Bank, and he's like, yeah, that's not good. Anyways, I'm Fatui, and we don't trust him really, but we're like, fine, and he tells us to go to the Adepti, and then gives us a sigil of permission. We go to all four of the Adepti, and they're like, what do you mean Rex Lapis is dead? So they get angry and go to meet up. You go back to Child, and he's like, you want to meet the Seven, right? Well, I think I know how to get you to meet the Exuvia, which is like the dead body of Rex Lapis. So basically a day later you go and eat with Child in this pavilion, and Zhongli is there, and he said he organizes funerals because he's from the Wangsheng funeral parlor and he can get you to meet the Exuvia. So you go and do a bunch of fetch quests to get the jade you need, the flowers and the perfume, and like a bell or something from an Adeptus, I don't know how it's said. Then you go to Boo Boo Pharmacy for incense, and then you have to go find a Coco Goat for Chi Chi for her to give you the incense, and nobody knows what that is. So you go to the Guizhong Ballista, which has a scope, and it's an Adepti-made weapon, and it's broken, and Zhongli is like, I know how to fix it, so you get him spare parts, and he does, and the treasure hoarders are like, what the hell, we just disassembled that. So you kill them, and you can't find the Coco Goat, so you go back, but Baiju is like, oh yeah, you can have the incense. But since Zhongli's broke, Child pays for everything. You go and eat with Zhongli, and he actually pays for once, wow, and then Ganyu tells us to go to the Jade Chamber and meet up with Ningguang. We struggle for a very long time to get up there, and we finally do. Ningguang doesn't really tell us much, to be honest, but since we brought her a gift, we get a paper that has some info about Fatui research. We go to the research and see that they're trying to recreate sigils of permission. Wow, that's kind of suspicious, Child. How do you get that sigil of permission? So you go to a place to gather glaze lilies for the rite of parting again, but Zhongli tells you that you have to sing for them to work. But these are bad lilies and fight you. But Ganyu is like, I picked some, do you want them? And we're like, yes. So you go back to Liwei, but the Adepti are confronting the Qixing. Zhongli's like, I gotta go. Then we go to the Golden House, because Child must be trying to steal the Gnosis from the Exuvia. We get there before him, and he's like, hi, anyways, I'm taking the Gnosis now. Then he wants to fight us, because he likes to do that. And then boss fight music ensues. After his delusion phase, he goes over and tries to steal the Gnosis, but it's not even there, so he thinks you have it, and then fights you, but more powerful, even though this is the easiest phase. You defeat him, and then he's like, well, plan B, since neither of us have the Gnosis, Rex Lapis is still alive. Time to draw him out by unleashing an ancient god with the sigils of permission. You go out and help it, and to help fight it, and the Adepti and Qixing team up, but you've got to help fight, and they use the Guizhong Ballista, and then that breaks, so you drop the Jade Chamber on it and win. The Adepti stop being angry as well. Then you go back to Northland Bank to go to yell at Child, but Signora and Zhongli and Child are there. Spoiler alert! Zhongli is Rex Lapis. Nobody saw this coming totally, even though his color scheme is the exact same, and that's a little suspicious. He gives Signora the Gnosis, because contract or something. Anyways, you go to the fake rite of parting, and then after that you talk to Zhongli, and he's like, okay, now go to Inazuma, but you might have a little bit of trouble with that. We will be reunited. By the way, this is the story that I remember the least about, because I barely paid attention when playing it. You meet Dainsleif because he seems interesting, and you want to commission him to adventure with you. He asks you questions, and he agrees to help you find your sibling. They finally remembered we had a sibling. You fight some hilly trails and a few abyss mages. You also find this dandelion, and you're like, wow, this feels familiar, and Dana's like, yeah, your sibling looked at it, that's why. And then, sometime later, you go to the Liwei branch of the Adventurers Guild, and Ganyu is there for some reason. It's like treasure hoarders went to steal from the Abyss Order. You go into the domain, and you see an upside-down Animo statue of the Seven, and also some deceased Grand Thief, which I'm pretty sure was actually the first dead character that's not a fought enemy on screen when it came out. So that was kind of spooky, and all of us were like, whoa, people can die in this game? Anyways, the Abyss Herald is like, what are you doing here? And then you fight him a bit, and then it teleports away. And you go out of the domain, and Dane is there, and he's like, oh, you're here too. Then he talks about Conria while you go and beat up some Abyss mages in the area. You go back to Mondstadt and ask Barbara if maybe there was any kind of missing statue of the Seven, and she says something about the Tyrant's Final Fury, which just ended up being a big ruined guard, which are called Field Tillers actually, and are from Conria. The Abyss Order is attacking Wolfendom, and obviously you defeat them, and Razor and Boreas are like, thanks, bye now. Boreas said something about the Field Tillers, and you go back to inform Dane, and then you go to Stormterror's lair, because there was a broken ruin guard there. The Abyss Order was looking for Field Tillers, so he takes something out of the ruin guard, and then they return to the domain. There's a herald again that tries to attack the traveler, and then realizes, oh no, we're too strong. The herald tries to flee, and Dane stops it, but then our sibling comes out, and they don't like Dane. So we're like, hey sibling, stay here, and then they're like, no. And then they leave through the portal, and we almost make it, but then we don't, and Dane makes it instead. The Inazuma Archon quest. You're trying to go to Inazuma, but you don't know how to get there, so everybody says go to Beta, but she's like, I don't do free rides, and you're broke. Also, there's this guy from Inazuma named Kazuha who escaped it on the boat, and he's just kind of been chilling with Beto for a while. Beto is like, if you win the Crux Clash, I'll sail you to Inazuma, and so you fight everyone, and obviously you win. And then Kazuha says some poetry thing, but some guy steals the empty vision that was going to be the prize for everyone else, so you track him down and defeat him. Also, Kazuha's friend tried to fight the Raiden Shogun under the Vision Hunt decree, and he died, so he's kinda depressed. And then Beto is like, okay, I'll sail you, we leave tomorrow, and you make it to Rito, and you're kinda stuck there without a travel permit. You meet Toma, who's some servant for the Kamisato clan. There's 3 commissions that kind of do certain stuff that I don't really remember, but they're important. But obviously there's the Vision Hunt decree happening. You have to talk to the trade association that deals with outsiders, but oh no, taxes! So you figure out that by exposing some scheme. Now you have to get off of Rito, so a daughter of the Hiragi clan helps you off the island and gives you a travel permit. You arrive at the tea house, and Toma says he'll bring us to the Kamisato residence. And he does, and Ayaka is there, and she asks you to help fight the Vision Hunt decree, but you say no, because you're just here to see the Raiden Shogun. Then she shows you 3 cases of people who lost their visions, and with it their ambition, and you're swayed to help. So you go back to Ayaka, and she says that the person making fake visions got captured, so you have to go find them. Yoimiya and you break the guy out of prison, and Ayaka thanks you. So you went back to the tea house and see Toma, but he was taken away by the Tenryou Commission for having a vision, and he's the 100th vision, so the Raiden Shogun is personally there. And she's taking the vision. When she's taking the vision, as you grab it and use Electro. She's confused because she didn't give you an Electro vision and opens this space place, and you fight her while you're in there. You lose and get knocked out and are about to be hit by the Muso no Hidotachi, which is like a sword. But Toma saves you and you run away. You go to join the resistance because you met Teppei, and then he introduces you to Goro, and then you do some tasks to show your loyalty, I guess. Kujo-Sera attacks and agrees to stop attacking if she can have us, but Goro says no, so a battle happens, and then they were about to win, but strategic, yes, very, very strategic, Kokomi comes in and saves the day. You go to Watatsumi Island and do extremely boring resistance stuff that nobody cares about. Kokomi is like, we got a mysterious sponsor that is suspicious, but we need the supplies, so we're using them. Such a strategic move. And Teppei is appointed the leader of some branch of the resistance. I don't really know, I skipped through this entire part while playing. So we go defeat a law troll and then go back, and oh no, Teppei is sick, whatever could have happened. And so we see that he has a delusion that was given to him by this mysterious sponsor. I wonder who it could be. Wow, the mysterious sponsor was the Fatui. That was such a strategic move, Kokomi. So now Teppei is old and dying, so you have to go find the delusion factory. You make it through most of the factory, but it's Scaramouche. Wow. So anyways, the simps for him go wild, of which I am not one. Like, I don't really see why people like him that much. And then he almost kills you, and you're fading out of consciousness, and you see Yai Miko approach him. I love Yai. She's so great. You wake up at the Grand Narukami Shrine, and Yai is there. She explains that the space place you went to was the plane of Euthymia, and how that person in there was actually A, who sealed herself in there 500 years ago, after a mysterious event. I know what that mysterious event was. The Raiden Shogun is just a puppet, and Scaramouche is a prototype puppet, so she tells you that you need training if you're going to beat her. So you train, and you're still no match for her. So she suggests that we turn Kujo-Sera against her clan so that she'll try to help A. So we do that because the Tenryou Commission is working with the Fatui, so we steal those documents and show her. She goes to tell the Raiden Shogun, so we follow her up there. Inside we find Sera unconscious and Signora talking to Raiden. So the Raiden Shogun is about to kill us, but we propose a battle against Signora, and then she agrees and we fight. We win after Signora turned into a fire moth and stole a chunk of Child's Boss music. The Raiden Shogun obliterates Signora in a really cool cutscene, and now Signora has turned into ash for real now. Raiden allows us to leave the mansion area because we won, but she's killing us after we leave. So then this super cool glitchy scene happens, and we're walking out, and we see Goro, Kazuha, and some guards, and Raiden is behind us, about to kill us, but Kazuha's dead friend's vision activates, so he's able to use 2 visions at once and counter the Shogun's attack. So that happens, and after that he's pushed back, and we're taken into the plane of Euthymia. We're not strong enough to win against A, so Yai's like, use everyone whose visions were stolen and use their ambition, and then we do and we're able to win. So Yai talks to A and is like, come out of here, you're depressed. And she says fine, and the Vision Hunt decree is repealed because she's like, wait, the Fatui did what? Anyways, you meet back up with Yai at the shrine, she lets you ask your stuff, and then she tells you to go to Sumeru next. I will see you in 1 year when Sumeru drops, and I can't wait for Snezhnaya. That's coming in 4 years. I'm so sad. I hope you enjoyed watching this, because I had fun making it, so bye. I'll probably see you in like 2 months, because I never post.